In the sprawling cosmos, amid stars and nebulas, there existed a planet known as Valoria, a place of breathtaking landscapes and diverse ecosystems. The Valorians, humanoid beings with shimmering skin that changed colors with their emotions, lived in harmony with their environment. They built cities that rose and fell with the terrain, ensuring that no structure ever disturbed the natural beauty of Valoria. One day, as the twin suns dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, an unprecedented event unfolded. A series of massive metallic objects pierced the atmosphere, trailing flames and thunderous roars. The Valorians gathered, watching in awe and fear as these foreign structures embedded themselves into the outskirts of their largest forest, the Viridian wilderness. As the dust settled, the Valorians approached the site cautiously. The objects were unlike anything they had ever seen. Large, angular, and cold to the touch, made of materials not found on Valoria. Suddenly, sections of the metallic giants hissed open, revealing their occupants. Out stepped the humans, a species only known to Valorians through ancient legends described as formidable and fearsome beings from distant stars. The humans were diverse in appearance, ranging from tall and pale to short and dark, with hair colors that seemed to encompass the spectrum of a sunset. Their eyes, filled with resolve and curiosity, scanned their surroundings and the crowd of Valorians before them. Leading the human group was Captain Elara Miles, a woman with striking features and sharp gray eyes. She stepped forward, her voice amplified by a device around her neck, speaking in Valorian with surprising fluency. "People of Valoria, we come in peace," she announced. "We are here not as conquerors, but as rescuers. Your planet has sent out a distress call across the galaxy, and we have come to answer it." Confusion rippled through the Valorian crowd. Their leaders, the Council of Elders, exchanged looks of bewilderment. No such distress call had been authorized by them. The High Elder, a venerable being named Orin, stepped forward, his skin shifting to a deep blue, a color of diplomacy and peace. "Captain Miles, we are unaware of any distress call from our planet. Perhaps there has been a misunderstanding," Orin stated, his voice calm and welcoming. Elara nodded, gesturing to one of her crew who brought forward a device that displayed a complex array of signals and data. "Our deep space sensors picked up these signals emanating from beneath the surface of your planet, in the pattern that universally signifies a call for aid. We traced it here, to Valoria." The revelation sent a murmur through the crowd. The Valorians were unaware of any technology on their planet capable of sending such signals. Sensing their disbelief, Elara offered a proposal. "Allow us to investigate the source of these signals. We have the tools and expertise to uncover the truth. In exchange, we ask only for your cooperation and trust." Reluctantly, the council agreed. The humans, with their strange and terrifying appearance, had extended an olive branch. Perhaps, the Valorians thought, these beings were not the monsters the legends made them out to be. As the humans set up their base at the edge of the Viridian wilderness, partnerships began to form. Valorian scientists joined human engineers, combing through data and exploring the dense forests for clues. Night fell, and the stars watched quietly as the first chapter of an unexpected alliance began on the serene planet of Valoria. As the partnership between humans and Valorians deepened, their exploration took them deeper into the Viridian wilderness, a place teeming with life yet silent as if keeping centuries-old secrets. The forest, usually vibrant with the chatters and trills of the native wildlife, grew eerily quiet around the human intruders, as if the very nature itself was wary of these new visitors. Captain Elara Miles led the expedition, her team equipped with state-of-the-art technology designed to detect anomalies and decipher the origins of the mysterious distress call. Alongside her, the Valorian guide, Lyris, with skin that shimmered a soft green, indicative of curiosity, navigated the intricate pathways that snaked through towering trees and dense underbrush. The journey was marked by a series of uncanny occurrences. Tools and instruments occasionally malfunctioned, screens flickered without cause, and compasses spun inexplicably. The deeper they ventured, the more frequent these anomalies became. One night, under a canopy so thick that not even the twin moon's light could pierce it, The team gathered around a holographic map, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of the projection. "It's as if the forest itself is alive, watching and perhaps interfering with our equipment," Alara remarked, her eyes narrowing as she studied the flickering edges of the map. Lyris nodded, his voice low and thoughtful. "The Viridian wilderness is ancient, possibly as old as Valoria itself. Legends speak of the heart of Viridia, a mystical core that balances the life force of our planet. No one has seen it, and many believe it to be just a myth." Intrigued by this legend, Dr. Lena Hart, the lead scientist of the human team, suggested a detour to the last recorded epicenter of the anomalies. The next morning, with renewed purpose, they redirected their path towards a valley that was hidden away by colossal ferns and whispering winds. As they approached, the air grew thick, charged with a palpable tension. Suddenly, a low rumble shook the ground beneath their feet. The team steadied themselves as the earth split slightly, revealing a crevice that emitted a soft, pulsing light. The light, pulsating in rhythmic bursts, seemed to communicate, beckoning them closer. With cautious steps, Alara and Lyris approached the crevice. Inside, they discovered a network of crystalline structures, glowing with an ethereal blue light. The crystals were not just geological formations, but appeared to be part of a larger, almost organic system. Embedded within the crystals were ancient artifacts, possibly technological in nature, yet unlike anything known to human or Valorian science. "This must be the source of the distress signal," Lena exclaimed, her voice a mix of awe and excitement. "These crystals might be ancient communicators, maybe even sentinels, programmed to alert the cosmos in times of planetary distress." The revelation was monumental. It suggested that Valoria was not just home to a thriving ecosystem, but also to a lost civilization advanced enough to reach out to the universe for help. The implications were staggering, and as they set up their instruments to study the crystals further, the team felt the weight of their discovery. That night, as they camped near the crevice, stories and theories flowed freely around the fire. The humans shared tales of distant worlds and cosmic wonders, while the Valorians spoke of their ancestors who had perhaps once traversed the stars themselves. The bond between the teams grew stronger, a unity forged in the face of the unknown. As they delved deeper into the mysteries of the Viridian wilderness, they were unaware that back at their base camp, a series of shadows moved silently, observing their every move. The forest was indeed alive, and not all were pleased by the secrets being unearthed. The mysteries of Valoria deepened as the Valorian and human teams progressed with their research into the crystalline network. Their discovery had not only illuminated the possibility of an ancient advanced civilization on Valoria, but also hinted at a planet-wide system designed for unknown purposes. The implications were as daunting as they were exhilarating. Back at their base camp, however, unease grew. The shadows that moved in the night were not mere figments of imagination. The security team, led by Lieutenant Harrow, a veteran of interstellar conflicts, reported unusual surveillance activity. Sensors detected movement and thermal signatures that did not match any known Valorian wildlife. Something, or someone, was watching. Meanwhile, deep within the heart of the Viridian wilderness, Alara and Lyris led a team to further explore the source of the distress signal. The crystal network seemed to extend further than previously thought, forming a labyrinth beneath the forest floor. The corridors within this subterranean maze were lined with murals depicting Valorians alongside humanoid figures, their features blurred by time, but their presence unmistakable. These images could represent the ancients, the original settlers of Valoria, Lyris explained, his skin glowing a thoughtful violet. They might have been human, or perhaps another race entirely. It appears they lived in harmony with Valorians. The murals told stories of coexistence and technological symbiosis, suggesting that the ancients had not only settled Valoria, but had thrived alongside its native inhabitants. However, one fresco stood apart, depicting a cataclysmic event: skies darkened by storms, lands split by tremors, and the ancients vanishing into the stars, leaving the Valorians behind. This could explain the distress signal, Lena mused, scanning the mural with her portable imaging scanner. Maybe it was meant to activate in response to certain planetary conditions, a call for the ancients to return if Valoria was in peril. As the team pondered the implications, Ilara's communicator buzzed. A message from Lieutenant Harrow, urgent and foreboding. "Captain, we've encountered a problem. Several surveillance drones have been disabled. We found residues of a substance that's neither Valorian nor anything we brought with us." Summoned back to the camp, Ilara and her team hastened through the thickening gloom of the forest. Arriving at the base, they were greeted by the sight of the disabled drones, each coated in a fine, silvery dust. Analysis revealed it was a compound of unknown origin, highly advanced and effective at disrupting electronic systems. "This wasn't an accident," Harrow concluded grimly. "It's a deliberate act of sabotage. Someone doesn't want us here." The night was tense with whispered strategizing and heightened security. In the dim light of the following morning, a delegation approached the camp. They were Valorians, but not of any tribe or community known to Lyris or his peers. Their leader, a tall figure whose skin shifted chaotically in color, introduced herself as Saren of the Shadowed Vale, a hidden society descended from those who had once lived alongside the ancients. "Your presence has awakened old guardians," Saren declared, her voice echoing slightly as if carried by the wind. "The technologies you disturb were meant to be left dormant. They protect something vital, something that must not fall into the wrong hands." Her revelation struck a chord of both curiosity and caution in the hearts of the assembled team. As Saren agreed to guide them to the true heart of the Crystal Network, it became clear that their expedition was about to delve into realms beyond mere archaeological discovery. They were stepping into the realm of legacy, guardianship, and ancient cosmic duties. As the morning light filtered through the dense canopy of the Viridian wilderness, the alliance between humans and Valorians was put to its greatest test yet. Saren, with her enigmatic presence and cryptic warnings, led the team deeper into parts of the forest, unseen by any living Valorian or human. The air was thick with the scent of moss and ancient earth, and every step seemed to echo through the ages. Saren spoke of the Guardians, a secretive faction of Valorians who had sworn to protect the core technologies left by the ancients. These Guardians, she explained, were not just protectors of physical sites, but also keepers of knowledge, ensuring that the powerful technologies of yore did not fall into hands that sought to misuse them. "Our ancestors were not only left with the remnants of a lost civilization, but also with a duty," Saren narrated as they walked. "The heart of Valoria is not just a power source or a beacon. It's a vault containing the genetic blueprint of every species that ever thrived on our planet. The distress signals you detected were automated responses to potential ecological collapse, a plea for help to restore balance." This new layer of understanding reshaped the mission's objectives. It was no longer a simple investigation. It was a race to prevent a planetary catastrophe. As the team approached the heart of the forest, the environment changed. The trees grew taller, their trunks wider, and the air vibrated with a palpable energy. Suddenly, the ground beneath them trembled, not from any natural quake, but from a mechanism awakening deep underground. A hidden pathway opened, leading to a subterranean chamber illuminated by bioluminescent fungi that cast an eerie glow on the walls. Inside the chamber, the air was cool and filled with the hum of ancient machinery. At its center stood a massive crystalline structure pulsing with light. Around it, holographic displays sprang to life, showing star maps, genetic data, and simulations of ecological disasters and recoveries. Dr. Lena Hart, fascinated by the display, began interfacing her equipment with the ancient system. "This technology is far beyond anything we've encountered," she remarked. "It's not just preserving the past, it's actively monitoring and, potentially, regulating the planetary biosphere." As they explored the chamber, Saren guided them to a console where the genetic archives were stored. The ancients foresaw many challenges, including their own disappearance. They left these tools hoping that future generations could steward Valoria in their absence. But the systems are failing. They need a new custodian. The implication of her statement hung heavily in the air. The humans, with their advanced technology and interstellar experience, were the obvious choice to help. But the Valorians were cautious, their trust hard-earned and fragile. Just then, the chamber shook with a more violent tremor. Alerts blared from Lena's equipment. "The system's trying to initiate something big," she shouted over the noise. "It looks like a global restoration protocol, but there's a problem. It can't complete the sequence." Ilara Miles stepped forward, her decision clear. "We need to help it reset. It's not just about exploration anymore. It's about survival." With Saren's reluctant approval, the team worked feverishly to stabilize the ancient system. As they interfaced their technology with the alien mechanisms, a new harmony began to emerge, a symbiosis of the old and the new. As the chamber's light stabilized and the tremors subsided, it became clear that they had succeeded. They had not only averted a crisis, but had also begun a new chapter in human-Valorian relations. The successful stabilization of Valoria's ancient systems marked a new era of cooperation and understanding between the humans and Valorians. With the immediate threat averted, the focus shifted to a deeper integration of knowledge and resources. The chamber, once a cryptic relic, transformed into a vibrant hub of interstellar scholarship and ecological management. Captain Ilara Miles and Saren, now recognized as a liaison between the human explorers and the Guardian sect, orchestrated a series of meetings to discuss the future governance of the technology. With the global restoration protocols now active, Valoria began to experience rapid ecological recovery, the effects visible even to the untrained eye. Verdant growth sprouted in once barren patches, and wildlife populations rebounded with vigor. In the heart of this resurgence stood the Genesis Spire, the crystalline structure at the center of the chamber. Scientists from both species worked together to decode its functions, revealing that it not only housed genetic archives, but also possessed the capability to manipulate ecological variables at a molecular level. Dr. Lena Hart, fascinated by the Spire's capabilities, spearheaded a project to create a hybrid technology that could be used in other parts of the galaxy where human colonies struggled with environmental challenges. "What we learn here could save countless worlds," she often mused during her updates to the Joint Council. Meanwhile, the forest itself seemed to respond to the rejuvenation of its core. The trees grew thicker, and the air filled with the buzz of life. It was during one such exploration of the now thriving wilderness that Lyris discovered a series of hidden glyphs, not far from the Genesis Spire. These glyphs, when activated, projected holographic records of the Ancients' history and their interaction with Valoria. The records told of the Ancients' arrival, their initial struggles, and how they eventually formed a symbiotic relationship with Valoria's native life forms. It also chronicled their sudden, mysterious departure, prompted by a cosmic threat that had now long passed. The revelation of these events brought a new level of urgency to the ongoing efforts. If the Ancients had left to confront a threat of such magnitude, what had become of them? Were they successful? Could this threat one day return? The Council, under Ilara's guidance, decided to establish a permanent research base around the Genesis Spire to tackle these questions. Amidst these groundbreaking developments, a celebration was planned within the forest. Valorians and humans gathered to mark the founding of the New Dawn Alliance, a treaty of mutual cooperation and defense. The event was filled with displays of Valorian culture and human technology, symbolizing the fusion of their worlds. However, just as the festivities reached their peak, a disturbance at the edge of the clearing caught everyone's attention. A group of Valorians, distinct in their attire and bearing, approached the gathering. Their leader, a stern figure with a luminous red tint to his skin, a sign of deep concern and warning, addressed the assembly. "We are the keepers of the true legacy," he announced, his voice echoing with a mixture of authority and distress. "What you celebrate today is a shadow of what was meant to be. The Ancients did not leave by choice but were forced from Valoria. The technology you now wield was meant to be our salvation, not merely a tool for ecological management." The bold proclamation silenced the crowd. Questions swirled as the keepers presented their evidence, artifacts and ancient texts that suggested a different interpretation of the Ancients' departure and their intentions for Valoria. The arrival of the keepers at the New Dawn Alliance celebration introduced a new tension between the revelers. Their leader, named Vorin, stood firmly, his eyes scanning the gathered crowd as he held up a relic. An ancient astrolabe encrusted with the same luminescent crystals found in the Genesis spire. This was not merely a navigational tool, Vorin declared, his voice resonating with urgency. It is a key, part of a greater mechanism that the ancients used to communicate across the cosmos. Our forebears didn't just leave. They were summoned away to confront a danger that threatens not just Valoria, but all life. The revelation shifted the atmosphere from celebration to contemplation. Captain Alara Miles approached Vorin, her demeanor calm yet assertive. If this is true, then we must learn how to use this key. It's vital we understand not just the how, but the why of their departure. Vorin nodded, agreeing to cooperate. He joined forces with Dr. Lena Hart and a team of Valorian historians to delve deeper into the ancients' archives, now accessible through the newly discovered glyphs near the Genesis spire. Together, they pieced together the fragments of a story much greater than any had anticipated. The ancients, it seemed, were part of a galactic coalition, bound by a pact to protect member worlds from a predatory civilization known only as the Nomarchs. These beings were described in the holographic records as relentless hunters of resources, consuming planets to fuel their ever-expanding empire. The ancients had delayed the Nomarchs' advance, but at great cost. Their final messages were desperate pleas for help, broadcasted across the stars. Armed with this knowledge, the team worked tirelessly to restore the astrolabe to operational status. With the guidance of Vorin and the expertise of human engineers, they recalibrated the device, aiming it towards the coordinates specified in the ancient texts. The first test was a breathtaking success. The astrolabe emitted a pulse of deep blue light, creating a temporary rift in space above Valoria. Through this window, they glimpsed a fragment of a battle still raging. Ships bearing the insignia of the ancients engaged in a distant skirmish against dark amorphous vessels. The threat is real, and it's ongoing, Alara concluded, addressing the assembly. We must prepare, not just to defend Valoria, but potentially to assist our forebears' allies across the stars. The news of an imminent cosmic threat galvanized the Valorian and human communities into action. Preparations began for what they called the Stellar Campaign, an effort to fortify Valoria and explore the possibility of aiding the Ancients' coalition. New technologies were developed, combining Valorian biological advancements with human engineering prowess, leading to the creation of hybrid ships capable of navigating the harsh conditions of space combat. Amidst the rush of preparations, a deeper bond formed between the peoples of Valoria and their human allies. They trained together, built together, and planned together, their combined strengths fostering a resilient and determined alliance. As the first fleet of hybrid vessels took shape in the orbiting shipyards, a message arrived through the restored astrolabe, a message from the coalition, acknowledging Valoria's response and welcoming them back into the fold. "We are not alone in this universe," Lyris remarked, watching the ships against the backdrop of stars. "Our history is our strength, and our unity is our salvation." Under the gleaming stars and the ever-watchful eyes of Valoria's twin moons, the newly formed fleet, a testament to the synergy between human innovation and Valorian natural prowess, loomed ready in orbit. These vessels, sleek yet robust, were equipped with both the advanced human weaponry and Valorian bio-enhanced systems, designed to sustain life and ensure operational integrity, even in the harshest conditions found in the depths of space. Captain Alara Miles stood aboard the command ship, the Harmony Vanguard, as it prepared for its maiden journey. Beside her, Lyris adjusted the biosensors, integrating his own understanding of Valorian ecosystems into the ship's life support systems. "This ship is more than a vessel," he said, his skin shimmering with a hue of proud amber. "It's a living biome, a piece of Valoria among the stars." As the final preparations were underway, the Coalition's message, decoded from the ancient astrolabe, was broadcast throughout the fleet. The message was clear: rendezvous with the Coalition forces at a designated point on the fringes of the contested zone, where the battle against the Nomarchs raged with fierce intensity. The journey to the rendezvous was fraught with tension and anticipation. The fleet, though well prepared, was about to engage in a conflict of an unimaginable scale. Ilara briefed her crew, emphasizing the importance of their mission not just to Valoria, but to the stability of the galaxy. "We carry with us the hopes of our people and the responsibility to our ancestors," she declared, her voice resonant through the ship's intercom. Upon arrival at the designated coordinates, the Valorian human fleet was greeted by a chaotic scene of battle. Ships of various designs and sizes, all bearing the insignia of the Coalition, maneuvered through space, engaging the dark, angular ships of the Nomarchs. The Coalition's fleet was diverse, representing many civilizations, each bringing their unique technologies and strategies into the fray. The Harmony Vanguard and its sister ships quickly adapted to the rhythm of the battle. Their hybrid nature allowed them to operate effectively in multiple roles, engaging Nomarch ships with precise firepower, while deploying advanced healing technologies to repair damaged Coalition vessels. During one intense skirmish, a Coalition ship, severely damaged and on the brink of collapse, drifted dangerously close to a Nomarch destroyer. Reacting swiftly, Ilara ordered a daring rescue operation. Teams from the Harmony Vanguard used the Valorian biotech to stabilize the ship's life support systems and tow it to safety, saving hundreds of Coalition lives. This act of bravery and the effectiveness of the hybrid technology quickly earned the Valorian human fleet a reputation as formidable allies within the Coalition. News of their valor spread, boosting morale across the Allied forces. Amidst the battles, an unexpected development occurred. The Coalition command received intelligence about a possible Nomarch superweapon capable of devastating entire star systems. The location of this weapon, hidden in a nebula near the conflict zone, posed a grave threat. With the Coalition stretched thin, the task of investigating and, if possible, neutralizing this superweapon fell to the Valorian human fleet. Accepting the mission, Ilara and her crew set course for the nebula, aware that the success of this operation could turn the tide of the war. As the fleet approached the nebula, the sensors picked up unusual energy readings, hinting at the massive scale of the Nomarch technology hidden within. Preparing for what might be their most challenging mission yet, the crew readied themselves for a confrontation that could define their place in the cosmos. The Valorian human fleet, now seasoned in the heat of galactic conflict, approached the ominous nebula. This celestial cloud, swirling with vibrant colors and dark shadows, hid the Nomarch's feared superweapon. Captain Ilara Miles stood at the forefront of the Harmony Vanguard, her eyes fixed on the viewscreen, displaying the nebula's ever-shifting maze of gas and dust. The mission was clear, yet perilous. Infiltrate the nebula, locate the superweapon, and neutralize it before it could be deployed against the Coalition worlds. The gravity of their task weighed heavily on every crew member, knowing the balance of the war could pivot on their actions. As they entered the nebula, standard navigation systems became unreliable, the dense gas interfering with electronic readings. Lyris, utilizing his intimate knowledge of natural systems, suggested using biosensory feedback mechanisms to navigate. The nebula's organic components interact with our biotech. It's like the ship is feeling its way through, he explained, adjusting the controls to this novel method of piloting. Silently, the fleet moved deeper into the nebula, their ships cloaked in a spectrum of nebular hues. Suddenly, a scout ship signaled an alert. Their sensors had detected an abnormal structure, massive and metallic, hidden within the deepest part of the nebula. Ilara ordered a cautious approach. The structure, revealed through the parting mist of the nebula, was colossal, bristling with armaments and emitting a low, pulsating energy signature. It was unlike any technology the Coalition had encountered. Its design was distinctly Nomarch, utilitarian, and menacing. The fleet deployed a series of probes, which Dr. Lena Hart had equipped with a special interface designed to interact with Nomarch technology. The probes transmitted real-time data back to the Harmony Vanguard, revealing weak points and potential entryways into the superweapon. Formulating a plan, Ilara decided on a dual approach: a direct assault to engage the weapon's defenses, and a covert team, led by her, and including specialists from various Coalition species, to infiltrate the structure and attempt to disable it from within. The assault commenced with a barrage of coordinated attacks from the fleet. drawing the superweapon's fire outward while Alara's team, in a stealth shuttle, slipped through the chaos towards an access port identified by the probes. Inside, the environment was stark and oppressive, with corridors of cold metal and harsh, angular architecture. The team navigated the labyrinthine interior, avoiding no-march patrols and overcoming security obstacles by integrating Valorian biotech with Coalition hacking modules. Their progress was slow but steady, moving ever closer to the core of the superweapon. Reaching the central chamber, they were confronted by a complex control nexus, its panels alive with alien script and schematics of terrifying clarity. The weapon was primed to annihilate a nearby inhabited system within hours. Using the data from their probes, combined with Lena's quick technological prowess, they began the arduous process of reprogramming the superweapon. The tension was palpable, each second stretching thin as they raced against time. Outside, the fleet maintained pressure, but reports came in of increasing no-march reinforcements converging on their location. The situation grew desperate, the window of opportunity rapidly closing. Just as no-march forces breached the central chamber, Lena initiated the final sequence. With a triumphant, yet exhausted smile, she announced, "It's done. The weapon is neutralized, set to self-destruct safely away from populated areas." Alara rallied her team for a swift retreat, fighting their way back to the shuttle as the superweapon began its destabilization, escaping just as the structure erupted in a silent, brilliant cascade of light. They rejoined the fleet, their mission a success. After the daring neutralization of the no-mark superweapon, the Valorian human fleet returned to the Coalition's command hub, a massive space station orbiting a peaceful blue planet at the edge of the Coalition's territory. The fleet's heroic actions had saved millions and shifted the dynamics of the war. Word of their success spread, bolstering spirits and igniting a new fervor across the Coalition's ranks. Captain Alara Miles and her crew were met with accolades and profound gratitude. Coalition leaders, representing a myriad of worlds and species, convened in the Great Assembly Hall of the Command Hub to honor the fleet. Among the attendees was the enigmatic General Zirel, a tactical genius from the distant Cygnus systems who had become a crucial ally in the fight against the no-marks. During the ceremony, General Zirel took the stage, his voice resonating deeply. "Today, we not only celebrate a victory, but also the forging of a bond that exemplifies our greatest strength, unity. Let the actions of the Valorian human fleet remind us all that together, there is no foe we cannot overcome." Post-ceremony, strategic discussions took shape around the Coalition's next moves. The no-marks were reeling from their loss, providing the Coalition with a critical opportunity to push forward. Alara, now a key figure in strategic planning, advocated for a series of swift, coordinated strikes to capitalize on their momentum. Meanwhile, Dr. Lena Hart and Lyris collaborated on integrating more Valorian biotech into Coalition technology. Their project focused on enhancing the resilience and adaptability of Coalition ships, using organic compounds that could regenerate and adapt to different environmental threats. As plans progressed, a covert intelligence team led by Lieutenant Harrow unearthed troubling news. The no-marks were regrouping faster than anticipated, possibly developing another weapon in the shadowy fringes of the galaxy. This revelation forced the Coalition to adjust their strategy. They needed to disrupt the no-marks' supply lines and gather more intelligence on their new developments. The Coalition launched a series of missions, each designed to chip away at the no-marks' resources and gather vital intelligence. Alara and her team led one such mission to a remote asteroid belt where the no-marks had established a hidden outpost. As they approached the asteroid, the fleet deployed stealth drones designed by Lena to infiltrate the outpost. These drones provided live feeds of the outpost's layout and defenses, revealing a heavily fortified structure with an extensive underground network. Alara decided on a bold plan, a ground assault to seize control of the outpost and capture its data cores, which likely contained information on the no-marks' new weapon. The operation was risky, but the potential rewards justified the gamble. The assault began under the cover of a simulated meteor shower, cleverly orchestrated by the fleet's engineers to mask their approach. Ilara's team, equipped with advanced stealth gear and bio-enhanced weaponry, infiltrated the outpost. They encountered fierce resistance, but the element of surprise worked in their favor, allowing them to secure the outpost and its data cores. The intelligence gathered was invaluable, revealing not just the location of the Nomarch's new weapon, but also critical weaknesses in their supply chains and communication networks. This information provided the Coalition with a significant tactical advantage, enabling them to disrupt Nomarch operations on multiple fronts. Forces, now more unified and strategic than ever, initiated a series of operations aimed at dismantling the Nomarch's infrastructure across the galaxy. Captain Alara Miles, her reputation as a skilled leader solidified, coordinated these operations from the Coalition's command hub. The strategic map before her was a complex web of systems, each node representing a battle, a victory, or a challenge yet to be overcome. Her team, a blend of the best minds from multiple species, worked alongside her, each member driven by a shared purpose. In one of the critical moves, the Coalition targeted a series of manufacturing facilities located in the volatile Quasar Belt. These facilities were crucial to the Nomarch's efforts to build their feared armada. The mission was led by General Zirel, with Alara providing tactical support from the command center. Using specially designed ships that could withstand the intense radiation of the Quasar Belt, Coalition forces infiltrated and disabled the facilities, causing a significant blow to the Nomarch's war capabilities. Meanwhile, Dr. Lena Hart and Lyris had been refining the integration of Valorian biotech with Coalition technologies. Their latest development was a regenerative shield system, capable of rapidly repairing ship hulls damaged in battle. This technology was deployed fleet-wide, significantly increasing the resilience of Coalition ships in combat. The turning point came when the Coalition deciphered part of the data recovered from the Nomarch outpost. It revealed the location of a hidden command center, where the enemy was regrouping and planning their counter-assaults. The command center, hidden in the nebulous shadows of the Dark Rift, a region known for its treacherous spatial anomalies, was the strategic heart of the Nomarch's operations. Recognizing the opportunity to end the war, the Coalition assembled a multi-species strike force. Alara volunteered to lead the assault, her ship, the Harmony Vanguard, at the forefront of the fleet. The journey to the Dark Rift was perilous, the fleet navigating through spatial distortions and intermittent blackouts caused by the anomalous conditions of the region. As they approached the command center, a massive structure emerging like a specter from the darkness, the battle commenced. It was fiercer than any they had faced before. The Nomarchs, aware of the Coalition's approach, unleashed their full arsenal, determined to protect their stronghold. The battle raged, a tempest of energy blasts and evasive maneuvers. Alara's leadership and the resilience of the Coalition fleet, bolstered by the regenerative shields, turned the tide. They breached the command center's defenses, allowing a small team, including Alara and Lyris, to board the station. Inside, they encountered fierce resistance, but the Coalition's training and technology prevailed. They reached the central command room, where they disabled the Nomarch's communication arrays and command systems, effectively paralyzing their network. With the command center captured and the Nomarch's leaders detained, the Coalition declared a significant victory. Peace negotiations began soon after, with the Coalition demanding the dismantling of the Nomarch military infrastructure and a pledge to abide by galactic law. The war was over, but the task of building peace was just beginning. The Coalition, strengthened by its diverse members and their combined technologies, faced the future with renewed hope and determination.